Is 500 square feet enough if it's floating on a lake? Here's why small spaces on the water can work even better than some big ones on land.
I lived on a 500 square foot floating house, which is, typical like studio type apartment or small one bedroom. It didn't have a lot of storage. It can be really tricky if you have a lot of stuff, which I did, and it makes it a little bit more cluttered and chaotic. You don't have to be a minimalist if you don't want to be, but that's a good amount. Like, that's not quite like van life or anything like that. You've got a little bit more to work with usually, except for some of those tinier houseboats versus the floating homes, which are a little bit more like what you'd see in a neighborhood kind of cottage style. Another thing is balance. So you've got a lot of weight. You've got like 40-foot width on a lot of these, wraps that have the deck and all those barrels and logs underneath the house. And one of the things you can do to balance that, so maybe you have a grand piano, I didn't, but I had a lot of plants and a lot of heavy planters out there. When you need to readjust that, either over time, the barrels and logs shift, you'll get a scuba diver, like my friend Diver Dixon, and you will rebalance those or rearrange them to make sure the house is level. And occasionally those barrels, if they're not secured as well, or ropes shift or something like that, will pop out. So we definitely did see some floating barrels around the lake. Not usually a major immediate issue as far as an emergency, but you're able to call in the support from your scuba plumber, dive services, floating house team, whoever they may be, to make those adjustments.
Small space, big life. Subscribe for more follow-ups on the floating home life.